Hello, thank you for attending. And today we're going to talk about the monthly update, August 2022 for Cape Coral, Southwest Florida. My name is SeeWing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. Thank you very much. And before we begin with the data, I'd like to share with you that we, as real estate investors, we've been taking over the past 20 years, we're very familiar with this market, and we have taken out-of-state investors, and most of them come from California, to buy turnkey cash flow properties in Southwest Florida, Cape Coral. So anyway, so we do have a lot of experience, so we're gonna try to provide you as much data as possible, what's going on with this particular market, and we're gonna use the Redfin weekly housing data so you could understand what's going on right now. All right, so let me share my screen. And before we go through the specific data with respect to Southwest Florida, Cape Coral, the Redfin just posted this article recently. Well, not recently, a few months toward the end of this past 2021, around 6 months ago. It says Florida frenzy. Let me quickly go over this. America's hottest neighborhood of 2022. So the Redfin's 2022 hottest neighborhood among the top 10. South in most of them, which is quite interesting, is located in Southwest Florida, in the Gulf Coast areas. South Sarasota, which is a little bit north of Cape Coral. East Venice, same thing, Inglewood, Venice, Florida. And downtown Fort Myers are also in the Cape Coral Lee County metro. All right, so the other places we're not gonna talk about. So the majority of the top 10 hottest neighborhood are located in Southwest Florida. So as you can see, I'm not gonna go over all the specific data. Suffice to say that this area of the country has been booming, has been growing very, very fast. So based on various factors, all right? And we'll talk about that a very specific way. So with that in mind, let me click on Cape Coral. By the way, Cape Coral, Southwest Florida, Cape Coral itself have a couple of 100,000 people. And then the surrounding county, the suburbs, Lehigh Acres and Naples, an hour to the south, and to the north is Port Charlotte and Northport, and then to way into the east, 30 miles inland to the east, to the path of growth is LaBelle. So these area, the metro is more than almost 1 million people. It's quite large. So it's growing very, very fast due to consistent job and population growth over the past 20 years. It has been growing consistently, appreciation rate anywhere from 4 to 6% year over year for many, many years ever since the past 20 years, ever since the market crash, housing crash. Until 2019, just like in many markets, prices have skyrocketed during the pandemic, and a lot of remote working and capacities, and people are working remotely. They can live where they want to live. People are migrating. Tremendous migrating growth from especially the Northeast, New York City and Metro and New Jersey, and the Northeast part of the U.S., and Californians and Midwest. Also people from Chicago. So you have a lot of vacationers, snowbirds from Canada and throughout the US come down to vacation every year during the winter. And then you have second home vacation buyers, the upscale buyers from all over the US. They like to come into the Southwest Florida area for the beach and lifestyle vacation homes, Airbnb, those kind of things. And finally, you have the millennials moving into Southwest Florida because other areas of the country is becoming unaffordable. Even in Miami, people migrating from the South Florida, Miami metro into Southwest Florida, 2 hours to the west for even cheaper affordability prices. And of course, people from California also are coming, investors are coming, our investors have been buying Cape Coral for many, many years. And so population, job growth, out-of-state migration, low supply of inventory, and very high demand in the past few years, especially has caused this market to skyrocket in housing prices. But the rent has also skyrocketed recently. So the rental inflation has caught up with the skyrocketing appreciation. So with that in mind, now that you heard the recap, now let's go over what's happening this year, 2022, especially the past few months with the interest rate rise from 3% to 5 to 6% currently. Let's take a pulse of the market to see whether these kind of short-term trends or have any, whether we can draw any conclusion with this. So let's go ahead and review it. At first, the things I want to do, I want to go over the median sales price for the past 2 years from 2019, before the pandemic began, until now. So I will share with you the median price back in 2019 in Cape Coral is a mere 240,000. Okay, medium sales price 2019 before the pandemic. Then let's fast forward to 2020. What transpired year over year, August 2020, it has increased from 237 to 246, a mere 2% year over year appreciation from 2019 to 2020. Then you see the tremendous jump from 2020 to 2021, a whopping massive, historic, record-breaking 35% appreciation from 2020 to 2021. This is amazing. So people, the investors that purchased at the beginning of the pandemic, you guys achieved what we call it, a windfall. For those home buyers that are able to outbid others in a multiple offer situation in the past couple of years, also have achieved a massive windfall in terms of a skyrocketing appreciation from 2021. From 2020 to 2021, at a whopping 35% increase year over year. And then from 2021 June to currently to June 2022, another 30% appreciation. So the median price currently, well, it was high back in June, 421 median price in Cape Coral, and now it's 397. Has a little bit of a decrease because of the interest rate has caused people to only can afford a lower price home based on the payment situation from 3% to 5.5%, whatever, right? So by no means the actual prices have decreased. No, it's just that affordability factor can only allow currently, as of August 7th, 2022, the median price that people purchase at 397. So it's a short-term trend. So before the pandemic, the median price is 236, so, right? Now is almost 400K. So we're talking a massive increase over the past 2 years or so. What's the percentage? Like, I don't know, quite a bit, almost like 70 to 80% appreciation. I know every neighborhood, every block is different. So some locations within Cape Corals are doing better than others, but we're just talking from a high level, the median price. So the question is this appreciation skyrocketing, historic, record-breaking? Is it sustainable? Of course not. And I'm going to show you what's why. All right. Now, so again, the big picture is If you invested as a primary home buyer in Cape Coral area for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and even if you bought 2 years ago, your property on the average in the Cape Coral area has increased 30, 40, 50, 60%, depending on the neighborhood. So massive growth. So the question is, can it sustain itself? Well, we're going to find out momentarily, all right? Then you can, by the end of this video, you can decide, you can put a comment on the video at the bottom. So what do you think about this market? You can pose any questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer some of your questions on our on the body of the description of my video. All right. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. All right, now let's go over the new listing to see what's going on based on the challenging aspect. So active listing, people putting their home in the market. So let's see what are the trends are like. So as of August 7th, 2022, a few weeks ago, the active listing in Cape Coral is 4,576. It's an increase of almost 49% increase of listings year over year from last year. So now I want you to truly understand. So 49%. So let's look at 2021. A year ago, the active listings were 3,000 barely, right? And now it's 4,500. So it's been a pretty significant increase year over year. All right. So it appears that people want to sell. Maybe many sellers are urgent or they're desperate because they're being so emotional. they have this disease called FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. So they want to sell before, in their perception, the market crash. That may not be true, but that's the emotional instability of many Americans. The emotions will get the best of them. So I caution you to tamper your emotions and look at the data, look at the trends. That's the information as I'm providing to you, hopefully, all right? All right, so active listing. So now we'll go from here. Now let's go over pending sales, right? So active listings, people putting their house in the market. Let's see what are the result of those active listings. Let's look at pending sales. So pending sales on a week-to-week basis, I know 282 is not a big number, but collectively, if we add on week to week, is more telling. But right now is quite difficult to evaluate this short-term data. But suffice to say that the pending sale of 262 as of this week of August is low, right? Is year over year from last year, 2022 to 2021, is a 36% decrease of pending sales. All right, so keep this in mind. Now, then let's look at the homes sold as a result of this inventory these past few months. Homes sold is 394, is a decrease of 23% from last year, 2021, year over year. So that's a pretty significant drop in homes sold from year-to-year comparison. All right. So every year for the past few years is pretty moderate, it's pretty stabilized until now. But before the interest rate rise, the homes sold were higher, right? At 611 back in May. Now the home sold is only 394. So this trending of home being sold tells that the market activity is not that high, that people are not pulling the trigger. Well, partly because it's a seasonality. This means at the beginning of the summer, toward the middle of summer, a lot of people are finally going on vacation because the pandemic has subsided tremendously. So people are not in the market to buy during summer for those reasons. It happens every year at this time. So that's part of the reason. But then again, we expect, just like any other year, toward the fourth quarter of every year, we begin to see more activity. So these short trends are not, you don't take it with a grain of salt, but it's rather low. All right, so let's go over to another metric. Then you talk about the what's the next thing we should talk about? New listing median price. All right. So new listings median price is 412,000, which is quite high, right? It's 21% higher than last year, 2021, right? So the price has increased, the equity has increased quite 21% appreciation. That's pretty dramatic. That's record breaking. So from 2022, from 2021, and then even from 2020 to 21, it's almost 30% appreciation in 21, 22 is another 21%. We talk about almost 50% appreciation for the past 2 years alone. So if you look at 2019, before the pandemic, the median price is only 243 in the Cape Coral market, 243 to 412 here in August, and then as high as 437, 434. So the market has skyrocketed in prices. So again, for those people that bought, whether you're a primary home buyer or investor, if you bought at the beginning of the pandemic, you have just achieved a windfall, a lottery, if you will. So the question remains is, are you gonna, if the price is going down or what? So that's the concern. We don't know yet, too early to tell. So let's look at some additional data. And look at the days to close. Okay, the days to close is 35 days, about a little bit more than a month. That's pretty on a normal market, like before the pandemic. That's pretty normal for typical house to close escrow within a month and a half. So nothing to trigger any kind of concern there. But in the past year, this has taken less time to close, a little bit less. So pretty similar data from year to year in the past 3 years. So that's the days to close. And let me see what else. Medium days on the market. That's a better idea. The medium days on the market, okay, half of the houses have closed lower than this date and half above this date. So the medium close is this year, today, August, is 15 days. So two days to close escrow, the transaction. So that's pretty quick. Still, the market is very competitive, right? We're not seeing multiple offers anymore. We're not seeing 10, 20, 30% over asking no longer. We're seeing 2 or 3 offers per house, perhaps. If a seller or price too aggressively, then they may have to lower their price. So as a matter of fact, the next graph should be very telling. Price drops. Now, before you get freaked out, what do you mean by price drops? Not the price drop means the drop in the prices from the initial listing price to the actual sales price. And what we see here, percent of active listings with price drops is almost 10%. So again, I know this interest rate rise has caught a lot of people by surprise, right? Back in May, a few months ago, the price drop is very insignificant, but in the last few months, due to the interest rate rise, the sellers are not getting the memo. They think the skyrocketing prices will continue. They think there's people will overbid for prices. Now the demand has decreased as a result of the interest rate. You have seen less buyers out there because the affordability factor has decreased drastically because an interest rate rise from 3 to 6%. The mortgage payment for a primary home buyer is increased significantly. So that caused a lot of people to back out of the market. So therefore, the competition is is not as intense. So as a result, the sellers are beginning to realize their initial list price is way over what the market demands. So they have decreased their list price a few $1,000s here and there. Maybe they're gonna have to lower their price more than once, perhaps, right? So this trend, we have to watch over it to see what to make of it. It doesn't mean the houses are dropping. Maybe the homes are at the upper end, like $1 million or whatever. Maybe they have a price drop of 5 to 10%. But the entry level homes of $300,000 to $400,000 in Cape Coral is still very competitive because you have more of a buyer pool for that price range. So we have to monitor this trend to see. Hopefully, the seller for the rest of this year will get the message that the demand has decreased, so they will list their price according to the market demand. So therefore, they have to price their homes correctly. They have to the home have to be in a very good condition. If the homes are not in good condition, the buyer is simply not going to make an offer. So those sellers have to decrease their list price to meet the real demand. All right, does it make sense, everyone? All right, so let me see what else that is important to go over. Okay, months of supply, very, very important. That means 4 to 6 months are pretty much as a balanced market, right? And if the available inventory is less than 4 months, then we still have a strong seller's market, right? So if you have less than 4 months of supply of homes, then it'll be a very bad situation for the buyer, okay? So months of supply, let's go over it. This is important. So month supply is 12 weeks. So 4 weeks equals a month, 4 divided into 12. So you have 3 months supply of inventory as of August 7, 2022. So the question is, what do you think? What kind of market is it? So 3 months to me is still a very strong seller's market. And there are still limited supply of inventory in relationship to the modest demand that's going on right now. So the sellers still are in position. Okay, the buyer is not in position to negotiate. They do have more options available for the buyers, more homes for them to pick on. And so still, the inventory is low in this market. The inventory is at this point at only 3 months. So we expect home prices to increase year over year into the rest of this year, maybe at a single digit, no longer double, triple digit appreciation that if we have seen prior to 2022. All right. So still, whenever supply of inventory is less than what demand for, then the housing prices will increase. Does it make sense? So this is a very important metric to understand, to know. And also finally, average sale to list ratio. What's the percentage of homes that are sold within the final list price? Is it above or below the list price? So as you can see, the graph has decreased pretty significantly from April this year until now, August. So average sales to list price is 0.98. That means the ultimate offer that was made is slightly less than the final list price that the seller has agreed on. All right, so that's a good sign for the buyer. So you have more opportunities, especially for first-time buyers. Finally, you have more available inventory to choose from, albeit temporarily. All right, so before this interest rate rise, as you can see, we probably saw some multiple offer as far as back as March or April of this year, 2022. As you can see, the offering price is above the list price. So it appears that much earlier this year, we are still seeing multiple offer situation. Home prices are going off the chart very quickly earlier, but now is slowly trending towards the buyer having some concessions. All right. Anything else I need to show? Let me see. I think that's almost concluding everything. So let's go over active listing, new listings. Let's go over active listings. Yeah, yeah. More inventory coming into the market. Not as much sales closing as we expect, but the new listing. Let me see. Let's go over the new listing again. Finally, now in the market, Cape Coral, they have a couple of 100,000 people. You only have less than 1,000 new listings month, week over week. So that's not trending good. That means there's a lack of supply still, very low supply of inventory. Demand is not that high for the time being. So for that reason, my takeaway is for Cape Coral market, Southwest Florida, yes, we're not going to see double-digit appreciation anymore, obviously, because of the decreasing of the demand as a result of the sudden interest rate rise. But we're not seeing, it's kind of weird, right? Low inventory, moderate demand. So it's sort of on a standstill, but still a seller's market. Still, the price is not going to decrease substantially based on the short-term trends we see. Mid-year this year remains to be seen as we move into the fourth quarter to see what are the trending situation. So the big picture is, the migration of people coming from out of state into Southwest Florida will continue to happen because of the desirability of living in this market for retirees, for vacationers, and for especially, and the neighboring submarket of Cape Coral, such as Naples, which is like 45 minutes below Cape Coral. The median price for homes like 800,000. So you have a lot of upscale people that are retiring here in the Southwest Florida. They have a lot of money to spend, all right? And millennials also coming here. There's a lot of jobs, a lot of growth, medical industry, healthcare industry, the hospitality industry. So it's a very healthy market overall. And the path of growth, because the prices have risen so much, especially single-family home in Cape Coral, the future, especially for real estate investors that want to buy cash flow properties, you can put 25% down payment. You can achieve a little bit of cash flow. That because the Cape Coral prices have increased so much, the numbers may not work that well anymore like it has a few years ago. But it behooves you for out-of-state investors to potentially to buy in the path of growth, the submarket, like 30 miles inland for better pricing. Like for example, LaBelle, single-family home selling for $280K. LaBelle is like 1 hour in the inland from Cape Coral. So that's the path of growth, the submarket, where you can cash flow 25% down on buying $280K property that rents for $2,100. Or in Port Charlotte or Lehigh Acres, you can cash flow with 25% down, a little bit of cash flow at 6%. Same thing with Northport and Port Charlotte, up north, like 45 minutes above Cape Coral in this metro area. So the outlying area, the path of growth, the suburban growth beyond Cape Coral, where the prices are lower because people moving inland, right, due to growth, right, due to high price point in Cape Coral. So that's the big picture. Long term, this market will continue to do well because of is the lifestyle, is the amenities that sunshine, no state income tax, a good place to retire, to work, to play, to work in this Cape Coral County area. Southwest Florida is poised to grow for a long time to come. So that's my big picture take. I will come back to this market and review it before the year's over once again to determine the data that we discussed today. So if you have any kind of comments, if you have some additional input or thought, feel free to comment below on this video, and make sure to subscribe and make sure you like this data. And also, you can enter my website at the bottom on the description. You can put your name on our website newsletter, free newsletter. You can become a free member of our organization. So you will receive a weekly update about real estate investment opportunities for out-of-state investors that want to buy in this very hot market. All right, so with that in mind, thank you for attending. This is SeeWing Yee from the Yee Real Estate Network. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.